Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch a chilly, wintry day here. No precipitation winter-wise, but barely right around freezing and 30-plus mile-an-hour wind gusts. So it feels quite chilly here. Seems like it feels chilly elsewhere too, and I'm not talking about the weather. Said this morning, a lot of things are happening. Weekend is just about upon us, and I don't know, things are just kind of got a weird feeling to it. So who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? I talked this morning about Kamala and Joe Biden being, them kind of rushing back to Washington, D.C. And I know that mainstream media has kind of talked about it, and they've got a good story, and maybe it's true. Maybe. Kamala came back in case the government shut down or the bill, or maybe she needed to make some, very close vote in the Senate. And then Joe Biden came back because of some kind of scheduled, had to run to Delaware and then turn around and run back. Maybe that's all true. It's also kind of strange because there's a few other things that are happening too. With that, along with all the other stuff. And I said that, while government shutdowns due to funding are not that uncommon, they do happen. This one seems to be a little bit different, and it's being done possibly. I mean, the government shutdown hasn't happened yet. I think it's tonight, if there's nothing gets passed. But, and it looks like that's probably going to happen because Donald Trump has already talked about it, that, well, at least it'll happen on Joe Biden's watch. Of course, you still have the drone thing. You have the war stuff is really kind of picking up over there. Russia made looks like some pretty heavy bombing of Kiev. And then you have this story that Joe Biden is worse than everyone thought they were, what he was. That he's completely out of his head. He cannot govern. So you have all of that happening, and it's got a lot of people uneasy. And today, the White House, Karine, you know who I'm talking about, the White House spokesperson, she came out and was talking about the government shutdown. And just before the end of it, and I'm not going to play the clip, but you can go over on my X, Twitter account, whatever, or on my locals, because I posted it both there. And she was saying that if the government shutdown happens, it could impede the process of a transition of powers and the inauguration. That it could somehow, she didn't go into great detail. Now, I know that you're going to say, well, she's a big liar and all she ever does is lie. Yes, that's true. And there's nothing constitutional. I get it. But when are these people following the law anyways? And it's quite possible, I don't know. I know we're way out here into hypothetical land, but if Joe Biden either steps down or the 25th Amendment is used to remove him from office, Kamala Harris becomes the president. And a lot of people don't understand that. I've seen people, well, Nancy Pelosi would be president, or the Senate or the Congress would choose a new president. No. The vice president's position exists for a reason. When the president is unable to serve, read the 25th Amendment. When the president is unable to serve, the vice president is the president. Period. If it's through death, if it's through resignation, if it's through the cabinet determining that he is unfit to serve, whatever, if he's impeached, doesn't matter. If the president is unfit to serve, then the vice president becomes the president. End of story. There's no approval process. There's nothing. That would make Kamala Harris the president. And if there's a government shutdown and they say, well, we can't do this transition of powers because we went through a transition of power with Kamala and Joe Biden, and then the government shut down, and then another president, we need to postpone this, right? We need to hold off on this. Just saying that I think it's within the realm of possibility, especially if for some reason we were in the midst of a greater expanded war, or if there was some kind of terrorist attack, or if there was a pandemic that was, all of a sudden overnight unleashed, or if there, whatever there, you throw a few of those things in, and all of those little things that I mentioned and a few more are certainly within the realm of possibility over the next 30 days. I'm not saying that these things will happen. I'm giving you some food for thought that it's within the realm of possibility that Kamala could become the president, and that the excuse would be there's a government shutdown and we had to transition over. Now that's causing all kinds of chaos, and with war or a terrorist attack or pandemic or economic problems or whatever, all these drones, attacking, and oh, it is the Iranians, oh, it is the Chinese, oh, and they're doing this, and we've got a new president, and then we've got the January 20. We just, it's too much. We just can't do it right now. We gotta do an emergency declaration to stop this, and then we'll pick up I don't know. It's possible. It's never been done. There's no constitutional precedence for it, but where's the constitutional precedence for half the things that they do anyways? Think about it. Don't know. In other news, Donald Trump, his team was his part of his transition team or whoever it is. They're saying that he's encouraging NATO to contribute more, which that's not new news. He's been saying that ever since many years now, that NATO needs to be a bigger contributor. The other countries in NATO needs to be a bigger contributor to NATO. And that if they do that, then the United States would continue to fund the war in Ukraine until it's over. Now, that's something different. Remember, we've been told throughout the whole campaign that he would end the war on day one. And it seems like that's kind of backed away little by little. And now they're saying that the United States would continue to fund the war in Ukraine. Continue to fund Ukraine. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff there. And we're coming down to the wire now. And it's quite possible that the next 30 days will be just as smooth as the whole election process, and nothing big will happen. It's quite possible that Donald Trump could take office and everything will just kind of keep trucking along like always. And the drone story will disappear and we'll never know what happened. And that the H5N1 never goes beyond what it is. And that Joe Biden just kind of disappears. And maybe. I mean, if Kamala Harris took power somehow, then she could pardon Joe Biden and do all kinds. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could happen, but it's possible that nothing will happen. But I think the odds are increasing that something crazy is about to happen. And I'm seeing all kinds of folks, people online saying that, no one has any real hardcore evidence that anything is going to happen. But they're, I just got this gut feeling stuff's weird right now. So I would suggest you be getting ready for it. Who knows what's the plan? No, I mean, it's like everything's just been thrown out the window now. And it's kind of in chaos land and uncharted territory. I think it's a big deal. Not that we find out that Joe Biden's incompetent and senile and incapable of being president, because we've known this all along. But now it's like public. Now it's official. That's different. It's official now. Now they can say, oh, well, he doesn't need to be we've got to, we were willing to just let him ride out the last little bit of his presidency, but now we have this big threat from drones and terrorists and, foreign entities invading our airspace and all this. We got to have a capable president. We got to have a president that's able to actually react to these imminent threats to the homeland, right? So, we've convinced Joe Biden to step down so that Kamala Harris can take charge, because she's mentally competent. I know I'm building a scenario, folks. I don't think she's mentally competent. And then government shuts down, and she's the president, and who knows what'll happen. It may not happen what I'm telling you, but I'm just saying that there are certain things that are like lining up right now that could potentially lead to that. And I think it's foolish to just ignore that. This weekend could be pretty crazy. Maybe nothing. Maybe nothing will happen. The weekend may pass. The holidays will get through those. And the next thing you know, Donald Trump's the president, and everything may be fine and dandy. But I think things are potentially building for some chaotic times, and we should probably be prepared for that. You need to get your houses in order, folks. Seriously. If you haven't, if you're not there yet, you better hurry it up, because we live in some pretty crazy times, and we just don't know what's around the next corner at this point. It's so hard to predict. It's so hard to even have an idea of what's going to happen, because it's changing at every moment and every turn. So be ready. Get your houses in order. Prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.